Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Boks Unpacked. 2 shows under one roof, your new home of rugby content. We're going to have a review show, The Verdict, every Tuesday with Jean de Villiers. Pretty serious, pretty technical, pretty tactical.
Pretty
Unlike
cute.
yourself, but it will be pretty good. But we're out here at an undisclosed location where we're going to be doing the Boks Unpacked with Jean de Villiers, Schalk Burger. Boys, let's crack open the box.
Shimmy, just wait. We've got the sponsors on board. Betway. We're not just only going to make predictions. We're going to give you good tips. We're going to help ourselves with the betting. We're going to help you with the betting, and hopefully we can get some good tips for that on all Springbok games. Not only Betway, we've got Coca-Cola, one of the Boks sponsors on board as well. Limited edition cans, only going out in 2 weeks' time, but you see it here first. And I've also got my friend Schalk Burger with us. He loves cars and he loves beer. Which sponsors did you get us, Schalk?
Hold it. Yeah, they come coming in. WeBuyCars, Castle Lager. Couldn't be more apt sponsors for this show.
Any more, boys?
That's it.
Boys, okay then, let's crack open the box. Cheers, boys.
Cheers, Tim.
New beginnings.
My beer.
New shirt.
Cheers.
I think you've got to open it,
I
John.
want to open it. Oh, just hear that sound.
I've seen that trick. Plenty to...
Buffalo Shimmy. That's not a good.
We're playing Buffalo.
That's not a good start.
Okay, no, okay. Give me a mulligan on this one.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers, Tim. I mean, is that the second beer you had to down in 2 weeks for coming late and drinking with the wrong hand?
Last time, when was the down on the last show?
Yeah, an hour late, weren't you?
Yeah.
Not
No,
a-
wasn't?
No, more than
2 minutes, 3 minutes. Plenty to unpack there, Jean. Let's talk about
Yes.
Paris.
Paris was
You took
amazing.
your wife on a boys trip. You were that guy.
Well,
You took your wife on a
that I've done once in 2007 at the World Cup.
Yeah?
So it was also Paris by chance.
World Cup, he was injured,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
So I obviously get injured the first game. Come back to South Africa and get my operation done. And actually, Johan Rupert phoned and said, no, he's going back for the semi-final final. You know, I can get a spot on his plane. And then I said, no, but my girlfriend at the time, you know, I promised her that she would come over. Now I'm back home again, so I want to take her as well.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, and it's like amazing and whatever. But unfortunately, I can't take that opportunity. And then Gavin Verigis was taking a group over
Yeah.
for
And
the
that's a boys'
semi-final and the final.
I know, I've
So he
seen-
said, no, you know, you can come with us, and you know, your girlfriend can come with, or whatever. So we fly to Joburg,
Yeah.
arrive in Joburg to meet the group, and it's like just guys
And
pops. So we had like 10 days in Paris, 8 days in Paris, 2 days in Amsterdam. She's the only woman on the trip. But this time around wasn't the same.
But great game.
Oh, unbelievable.
Some of the
So,
tennis
so obviously, yeah.
5.5 hours of that, though. It's unbelievable, those
Yeah. It was my first live tennis, you know, pro tennis match that I watched. And obviously you used to big stadiums in rugby, big stadiums in cricket, etc., 50, 60, 70,000 people. You know, now it's only 15,000. Way more compact, you know, far smaller. I think it's more intimate kind of, you know, you're closer to the action and just an unbelievable game of tennis, you know. So it was fantastic.
I would say, like, I'm an Alcaraz fan, but, like, I love Sinner's demeanor. Like,
Yeah.
how cool and calm
Cool,
was
calm,
he?
collected,
Like,
yeah.
you know, 3 match points, doesn't get it over the line, and then the quality doesn't drop off, you know, from there till whenever he lost the match.
It was flipping, like, I'm also a Alcaraz fan, but then what really struck me from the start from Sinner was his demeanor.
Yeah.
Was like how calm he wasn't emotional at all, no ups and downs. But then when Alcaraz started throwing
the
a bit
crowd-
of
the crowd
getting
involved.
Crowd
going
behind him, yeah, he was playing mind games.
and actually became a little bit arrogant.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't like that, and then I was kind of going to Sinner. But
You don't
then,
like arrogance, eh?
no.
Who are you sitting next to?
But then Alcaraz just grew,
Yeah.
you know, and flip, what a amazing.
What has he done now? 5 out of 5 slam finals.
I didn't
Haven't
see
lost it.
him coming back from that. I watched that, I thought this is done.
No, well, 3 match points, and then after losing the 3 match points, he was serving for the game,
Yeah.
and still lost it.
Yeah.
Did you go celebrate afterwards?
No,
Rosé?
no,
How much?
No, we didn't. The night before we celebrated.
He ran his race. Shami, you know the story.
Yeah,
he
we've
did
seen this
he did it on the Saturday night.
We went nice on the river the night before on a boat with all the clients. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
It's amazing in Europe this time of the year.
Yeah.
It's the best time to go.
You know,
We sort of experienced a bit of it during the World Cup in the beginning. Remember we were down in Toulon?
yeah.
That was quite nice.
But
It was
because
nice.
the days are so long and it's fantastic.
Scala, you're
lovely
going
trip.
hunting later.
Yeah, Shami, I've got the same shorts pants as you, boy. I mean, I know you haven't had
It's
but
the
like
jacket.
it's cold there, boys. Where I live, Claremont.
Guys, what
I think
the
we
hell
had
is
like
going on outside?
I think we had like 60 mils on a Monday, like it was next level. So no, I was cold, boys. But like we're out here, it's a little bit warmer here where we are now.
At an undisclosed location.
Yeah, don't tell them.
Yeah.
Luckily, it's going to be sunshine on Saturday, right, for the game.
Jesus, yeah. Wait, before we get to the rugby, the Proteas, we got to say something about the Proteas.
Yes,
Yes, please.
Mr. Sir Habana was there.
Mr. Sir Habana.
Mr. Adam Lawrence.
Cheers to the Proteas.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers, well done to the Proteas.
Gus,
How was that?
that elevated our super sport shootout
Yeah.
immensely because I was too nervous to watch any of that. You know,
Yeah.
like every time I've been so locked in watching every ball, every run, and like up until now, we've always been disappointed. But cheapers, Aiden Markram, Temba, Kagiso, I mean, how lekker was that to watch? Unreal.
I haven't watched a test match, as many balls of a test match than that game. Like it was the first time in how many years where I watched day one, day two, had the working, but you've got the TV on, and you just check all the time. It was, and the up and down of that game.
Well, the best part was at the
was
shootout when we were all
It's
sitting
sport.
around the
How
bar
good was
watching
that day
it.
too when Lungi started firing away and getting a few wickets and like we were basically cheering every single ball, living through it. It was amazing.
We've got we like a bunch of school friends that's got a bit of a group going, and on that group, whenever cricket's on, the group comes alive
Yeah.
because the disappointment that we've had on that group, the guys is coming on.
And basically we're all just going, they're making us believe again.
Yeah, and
Have they won yet?
Before that game, we're like, guys, don't get drawn into believing that we're gonna win this. Just manage the expectations and whatever. And then at the end, it was amazing. So well deserved. I like what Rassie said. We really enjoyed to see the fight from the Proteas, and sometimes that's all that we want to see as South Africans. We just want our teams, and individuals, just to fight for the cause, and the Proteas certainly showed.
I played
that.
golf with Chris Morris on Friday, like a warm up with a few brandies. And
$2
I
million
said,
man.
listen, can we chase? Because they were like then running away. Like, can we chase 200? Can we chase? And he said, the only guy that matters is Markram.
Yeah.
He said, if Markram makes
Victoria
it done,
Boys High, Markram.
Markram makes
He'll
it
tell you
done,
that
we'll
first,
get it.
yeah.
Yeah. He called it.
He called it. He called.
Oh, did he call it?
He called
Is it?
Rabada taking wickets.
And Markram making it
and
done.
Markram making runs. Actually, on Betway. So, if you want some odds and some
speak
tips,
tomorrow.
speak tomorrow.
But Temba was with us at the Super Sports shootout last year. It's amazing. And a year later, there he is, captaining the side.
Also played beautifully.
Yeah, he played it
Both
very well.
innings.
And also constantly under pressure. Eh?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're at that level, if you're captain of the Proteas, captain of the national side or whatever, you're constantly under pressure, and he's under the microscope. All of the microscope. Temba. And he's been able to deliver. I saw the stat on his average as well in test matches. I mean, he's been amazing.
I think since
for the
2023, I
Proteas,
think
yeah.
it is, where he's really been so good for us. Yeah.
Baabaas in town, boys. Cape Town. Scala actually spoke. the one manager, I think, is it Simon?
Yes.
He told me when you jumped in a limo once, I think in London or whatever,
Yeah.
you guys in a stretch limo. And then as soon as you jumped in, you asked for a 10-year contract. For the Barbarians. He told me the story.
Yeah.
He says Schalk Burger asked for a 10-year contract to play for the Barbarians.
It's everything I stand for. Like the Baabaas, I haven't been in town this week. Cape Town's been, the weather's also not played around their part. But like I know they were meant to play a bit of golf, chip off the deck there at Metropolitan. That didn't happen.
The weather, yeah.
But I'm sure they've seen a lot of Cape Town this week. No, geez, I absolutely loved my Barbarians stints, every single one of them. I did 4 of them. First one was 04, and the last one was in, when was it, John? 2013?
2013, yeah.
2013. So, geez, it's an awesome week. And they've got some decent players out here, like
They've got a proper team, yeah.
But they stay at the Bay Hotel, then Camps Bay, right?
I wonder if Percy's had some, if they had some of Percy's
Well, look-
tequila, they're gone. Then it's the box by 50.
Yeah. Look, you know, they landed on Sunday, which only means one thing in Cape Town. Straight down to Caprice.
The strip.
Yeah, you go down to Caprice and you get locked in there, which means, yeah, I saw them, a lot of them training. It was a light session on Monday morning.
Did they train on Monday?
Yeah, very light though.
And then you train at Hamilton. So where
Yeah, Hammies, yeah.
Okay.
They're there at Hammies. But
How many sessions did they have this week? Do you know?
3, is that,
okay.
is that a lot for the Barbars?
Yeah.
But I think is it? Oh, how many times did you guys train when you played Barbars?
Twice, maybe.
Yeah.
And a walkthrough.
Results? How did it go?
Well,
All
the
Blacks.
one year we had Eddie Jones and Jake White. We trained. We had a full week,
And we lost
and we lost.
to Australia.
The following year, the first one we beat the All Blacks in 09 with Nick. I think we had maybe a session and a half. We had another session planned, and he cancelled it for traffic.
Yeah, because traffic's bad.
Traffic's bad. We can't go.
We cancelled it.
I
cancelled it,
wasn't playing that game. But
So
then
we-
the last with Steve Hansen as well, 2013, we had one session.
We had a couple.
It was a short week.
Yeah,
it was a
short-
So
short
you're saying the Barbars are overtraining here in Cape Town?
might be. It might be tight.
It's a risk.
Is it?
It's a big risk. For
I think the
Barbers.
bigger risk is Monty's Tequila Boys at the Bay Hotel. If they had some of that, my word.
But just imagine.
The Bay of Monty.
I think
Monty Bay.
the weather might have saved them, because imagine this game was played in December or November, sunshine, waterfront, beach.
Imagine a Barbars game in Argentina, in Buenos Aires.
Guys, I played.
No, you'll lose half the team.
Yeah.
No, you'll have to play with a 7 side.
I played 7 series in Mar del Plata, Argentina, first week of January.
Oof.
Guys, I'm not lying to you.
Did you go to the beach, mate?
Yes, once. And then never went back. Because it's just people, okay? Like, it's like kilometers of people. You walk in the street, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, there's no one there, either on the beach or sleeping. Then you go that same street and you try and drive in that street 2 o'clock in the morning. You can't, because there's so many people on the street, and it's like, it's a different world. But sure,
Yeah.
it's beautiful there.
Okay, we're going to pick our 7s. Social 7 selection.
Social sevens.
Social
Just
sevens.
clarify. So
A
players
team
that are
made
socially
up of the best 7 players we played alongside or no on a night out. Who makes the starting team?
Oof.
Wow.
So no rugby skills, nothing.
No rugby skills. Social 7s.
Pub rating.
Yo,
That's where
okay.
your pub rating.
I've got a couple
pub
of
rating.
names.
You know who's the first name that actually popped to mind for me was Justin Marshall.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too. Justin Marshall's number 1.
Captain.
Yeah.
Captain Marshall.
Also,
Justin
like-
Harrison.
Yeah. You know, with Marshy, even if he doesn't have his best stuff, like he's looking a bit rough, he's too competitive to let it go. Like he's still going to eat through those beers and fake it that he's.
Mate, let's have a
strong.
cleansing ale.
I think the two of you can make the sevens team for a change.
We can't select ourselves.
We can't
We can't select
I
ourselves.
can select.
Leave me
okay.
out of this one.
Okay, you guys are out. You guys are out. So we got Marshall.
I'll put John Smith there.
I just want to say John Smith as well.
John
I'll
Barney.
put Barney there.
Who's seen him on a golf course lately with the 2 cigars going out the side and the bottle of the brandy and
And the speaker and the
Afrikaans
news.
tunes?
Don't worry, he's my partner at the street now. I know all about
It's
it.
unbelievable.
John Smith. Butch James, I'd put.
Yeah, Butch. Butch will be good quality. I don't know if Butch has got the stamina always.
That's coming from you.
Yeah.
Like if it's down to one night,
Yeah.
Butch, yeah, then Butch.
If it's down to one night, Butch.
one night only, John de Villiers.
Yeah, you make it.
No,
one night only.
Yeah.
Then he gets injured,
Yeah. Then you
but
get.
badly.
How about I'll put Dougie Howlett down.
Okay.
Doug Howlett. I mean, you
I had
experienced
one
Dougie
night
there in
with Doug.
Dublin.
Doesn't like sleeping either.
Yeah. Doug Howlett makes my team.
The late Jerry Collins. Scala.
Me and John walked into a bar in Wellington once. And he spotted us, so he called us over. So he was drinking his regular vodka shots, and we were having beers. And the next moment, like we walked into the bigger area. We're like up top in a smaller area. The next moment, a chair came. Chair came like flying like this. So that chair hasn't hit the deck, and we ran out. So Jerry just threw a chair. So Jerry, if you can contain him, like I don't know who's going to contain him. So let's give Jerry.
Jerry makes it. How many we on 4 now? Eh?
4 players. We need 3 more.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go.
You know, I always enjoy on a night out. This Donnie Rousseau.
Yeah. You think
Big Dana
Is it-
Bana.
is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big Dana gets the music speaker
Because he
right
doesn't
here.
sleep, eh?
Is it?
He doesn't sleep. That's it. He can't sleep. So he's like awake in the middle of the night, whether he's drinking or not. So sometimes drinking helps him with
Die
his
swart
sleeping.
kat sien alles. That's what we call him.
Okay, Johnny Russo. Okay, space for 2 now.
There's got to be an Aussie.
Aussie in there.
You know the Aussies. I'm trying to think.
I don't
I'll
remember
put
that.
Justin. Harrison in.
Yes,
What?
I enjoy Justin.
Yeah.
I've
Harrison.
seen Georgie Smith wander around for days without sleep. But you can't put
George
him
Smith.
down. Like, yeah, he's sort of floating around there. But you know
So
he's
George-
up to no good.
George Smith or
Yeah,
Justin Harrison. We'll put both of them in.
I've had a good innings with Justin Harrison in Hong Kong. So I mean,
I've had a good innings with him also.
yeah, he
It
gets
was
my
good
vote.
value in France.
What about
Harrison, okay.
What about Andy Powell, who got arrested going to buy chips on the M whatever in Wales? I did.
He did on his golf cart.
Yeah, on his golf cart. He tried to drive the golf cart down the national highway and got arrested. But I did a Baabaas tour with him, and he ran out of pocket money within 36 hours.
Okay, he's in.
Sin.
How many do we have? 7.
Yeah, that's 7. So we need an Aussie in there.
Marshall,
Yeah?
John Smith, Justin Harrison, Doug Howlett,
Watch James if it's one night only.
Butch Joseph is one night only. Did
And
we
then
have
John
Donnie
can come in for the second
Yeah.
night, one night early.
Donnie Rousseau?
Yeah.
Is that
Andy
it?
Powell.
Andy Powell.
Andy
Did
Powell.
I say Butch James? Did I say Donnie Rousseau twice?
Yeah.
Okay, that's it.
Who's the coach of the team?
Dobbo.
Sandy. He won't be able to manage any of those guys, though. Trying to think. My Baabaas coaches.
No, we had Tony McGann, dumper.
Oh, Dumper.
Wait,
Coaching.
doesn't Tony Brown make this team?
Oh,
Yeah, TB.
We need TB there.
DB was very well behaved at the shootout.
Yeah. Yeah,
Very
well,
well
he's
behaved.
in coaching mode now.
Yeah,
But TB can be the coach.
I like TB.
he can be the coach.
Yeah, TB can be the coach. Merton's got to get a mention there somewhere.
Ooh, there's a
Merton's
name.
That's all coming. Merton's got to get a mention there somewhere.
No, that's if he's not with one of his 7 kids. He's got too many, eh? How many kids he's got? 7, 5.
Twins.
What's the range?
I
What's
must
the
say,
range?
my first Baabaas experience was with Bob Dwyer,
Yeah.
and I think he woke up and had a bottle of red wine. Bob Dwyer, my first Baabaas coach, 04. My lasting memory of him is not a single team meeting, but him on the red wine.
So
Proper on the red wine.
head coach Bob Dwyer,
It's
assistant
fresh
coach Tony
red
Brown.
wine.
The squad's getting bigger and bigger.
It's hard to pick 7.
Merton's kicking coach.
Yeah, because you kick so much in sevens rugby, obviously.
We've got one scrum off. Team manager George Gregan.
Yeah, they'll be.
He can manage it. He's always organized.
Also
Good,
loves
good
it.
banter and loves it.
Creeks. Strong team.
Strong team, eh? Boys, let's talk about Lions. Lions,
Argentina.
Argentina.
You know my view on that is
Give
that
us your view.
I think
Unpack it.
I think 12 months ago we would have said Lions are winning the series 3-0. Okay?
Yeah.
And I think Australia has been more competitive. Well, where we sit now, I think Australia will be more competitive than what they would have been 12 months ago. But what then happens, if you're in a scenario like that, a lot of the times you become a little bit, overconfident, and you go into it, and then maybe the first test match comes up, and you kind of get surprised a little bit. Whereas this game now, for the Lions, is kind of immediately, okay, we might not actually be at the standard which we think we can be or should be, and it's a bit of I think a wake up call for the Lions. Also, I mean,
Well done to Argentina.
Yeah.
They play.
their record, Felipe Contepomi,
Yeah.
where he is now in terms of the teams that he has beaten in the last 12 months, amazing.
Their transition play is something else. Eh?
Yeah.
Well,
The Lions, they were super well organized. So their attacking shape was, if there was a criticism for me, it was just too lateral. So long pass to that first pot, but then they had nice options off the back of that. They actually, broke a lot of tackles against Argentina. Just too many errors. So a lot of errors on the ball. that transition play from Argentina to find the right decision maker, like when the Stormers play well, they've got a similar type of counter strike. But those tries were unbelievable, and they're tough for the Aussies. To get gain line against them, you think you can, but they leg chop you. They're over the ball. The breakdown's always a big fight. I mean, proper game. I absolutely love the game. Nice to see European summer rugby. I think that's the thing. I mean, it's always high scoring.
It works.
So, like, I actually think the British and Irish Lions for a first outing was super well drilled. Still a good side that picked. I mean, you look at the guys that didn't play, and you look at the guys who came off the bench.
It's a brilliant team.
It's unreal.
And also, I think it's again the old thing of you can put 15 individuals together that don't necessarily make the best team immediately, where you have the cohesion and just knowing each other that we saw from the Argentinian team versus.
I think if you look at the shape they were running, I think it's safe to say that Finn Russell's starting 10. He'll come alive with that out the back the whole time, looking for that second man option, playing with big widths, allowing Finn to either kick or run it through his hands. He's amazing in that role. So, like, I don't think Finn Smith was quite as natural as
Russell.
And that's Russell's game, though. That taking it flat on the line.
And he'll start this weekend. He'll start this weekend against
the Force.
Yeah, against the Force. I actually saw I think they were going Porter, Sheehan, Furlong. Forgot the locks.
Yeah.
So they'll probably play a lot of the Leinster players who've had a couple of weeks off.
Yeah. So and then Russell, like Tuipulotu.
Did you say Cheslin?
Chisholm.
Ollie.
Cheslin Colby at play.
Talk to me like the
Ringrose.
the Aki Tuipulotu combo. They're going to keep you busy, eh?
It's not a fun day.
No, it's not a. I mean, if you
it's not a nice day.
If you're 12, John's getting in the passing lane, but you're going for the intercept. That's
intercept all day long.
Who impressed you guys though from the Lions team?
Freeman on the wing, I thought was good.
He's good.
He's a good player.
He's a good
player.
You mentioned it a while ago. You're like, he's a
really
proper
like
player. Yeah.
But also, I think it's going to come down to him or Duan van der Merwe on the other wing.
Yeah.
I think Lowe, James Lowe kind
with
of
the left boot
settled with the left boot and all of that. And Duan, I mean, that offload as well, and so he wasn't bad either. So it's going to be interesting to see.
Marcus Smith will make a run at starting at 15.
High balls, contestables. Where's Kinghorn? Is he? He's still coming back from injury.
No, he's still playing top 14.
Yeah. No, Toulouse play Bordeaux.
Yeah.
So it's the final.
The
That's
final.
the fourth time those two are going at it this year, and like Bordeaux's done 3-0. Yeah, they can't do 4 against Toulouse, can they?
Oh,
I don't know. It'll be amazing if they do.
You never know. But so on Marcus Smith, great player, but in terms of being a fullback versus a Hugo Keenan or a Blair Kinghorn, which elements of his game is so much better than the other two?
And then you got Elliot Daly coming off
Elliot
the bench
Daly
as your utility back.
Backs everything,
does everything.
Covers everything, basically fullback wing centre.
I want to see Marcus Smith as a guy coming off the bench.
Yes.
At 10 or 15, he covers, the flower for fullback.
Yeah.
And that's it. So similar to what Burden Barrett did with the All Blacks as a youngster.
And it gives you versatility with that as well, because then you probably go him, if they go 5-3 split.
Yeah.
You have him, you have Elliot Daly.
I thought up front, like Jack Morgan chucked himself about.
Yeah.
Like he was good on the ground for them. A couple of good turnovers. The other forwards weren't too influential, but I think predominantly because they played through that pot of 9 the whole time. It was not like they were going. Ellen Skenge, a couple of big carries. Like you always get that out of Skenge.
I suppose the thing is, if you're a Wallaby, you look how the Springboks played Australia. It was carnage up front, and then they got on top of the backs. I'm not sure the Lions can do that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure the Lions can dominate the Aussie pack like the same way the Springboks
did. For me, it's all injury dependent with the Wallabies. If they've got Angus Bell and Tupou, you're not bullying them at all. You've got to play away from the scrums. The physical battle is like for like. So then you've got to outflank them through your attack and game management, kicking game.
I was thinking back to our social sevens team when you mentioned Ellis Genge. Genji could be up there as well, but Tom Youngs, Tom Youngs might be
Is
a
it?
competitor there as well.
You know what we'll do next time? We'll select a social sevens team, but one night wonders. So you'd be captain of that team.
Oh, thank you, Shami.
No, you would.
We can't select
Robbie Fleck would be deputy
all
captain.
the, all the centers.
He's Flecky.
Yeah.
He's captain.
Yeah, captain.
And coach.
Yeah,
And
captain.
assistant coach.
Yeah.
Manager.
One night wonder. That's it. And then the dogs chase you the next day.
Okay. I've got a couple of photos and videos.
Keep that away. Just for rugby.
He just gets tired. He just gets tired.
Really.
Okay, All Blacks against France. 17 debutants.
For the
For the All Blacks.
No, for France. Now, it's not the best for world rugby, guys. Let's be honest. It doesn't look. It doesn't sell tickets.
Well, it comes down to scheduling again.
Yeah.
We can go on about this, but if we're all in the same season, you're never going to have this where there's international game where, like you're playing with basically your third string side, because Toulouse and Bordeaux is playing in a top 14 final.
Yeah.
But it's also, it's the structure as a whole that needs change, because it's kind of the tail wagging the dog.
Yeah.
Because top 14's only finishing now. So,
Were they playing this test match on the weekend?
I'm not sure, actually. Yeah. But imagine, same thing. If, let's say France were to play us the first time we play them after the World Cup and they bring 17 new guys, we'd be sitting there thinking,
Why?
it's disrespectful. Why? We want DuPont. We want the same team we met in the quarterfinals.
The people want to see those players.
People want to see it.
Yeah.
It's only next week, eh? Forsyth Bar. Otago. Dunedin.
And the great
Under the
stadium.
roof.
Under the roof. Yeah, they might be up for a bit of a lesson, I think.
But imagine now a full strength French team.
We're all watching. We're all getting up early in the morning.
Versus a full strength All Black team.
No, the whole
dry weather.
The whole rugby world's tuning in for that.
Everyone's watching that.
Yeah.
Is the All Black side out yet? No.
No, they're only playing next week.
They announced their squad, so not the 33-man squad. Boys, quick one. Domestically, we need to unpack what's happening in Pretoria. Palace flew there. You guys have read it. Jake White, obviously, leadership group saying, they want him replaced. So from the papers, they want Johan Ackerman and assistant coaches, leadership group, a team that made the final, the URC final.
They've made 3 out of 4 finals, and I think in the last 5 years they made 6 finals. They're taking Currie Cup and other stuff in place.
Yeah.
So it's not like they haven't got one over the line. But that's the hard place to go. All right, we want to get rid of our coach. So I think there's a few things that stand out for me. I know everyone's on holiday. It's always funny how these things. I happen to know that Jake's in Mauritius.
Yeah.
So it's come out when he's in Mauritius. Obviously, we don't know who it's driven by, although they say it's the assistant coaches and a senior player corps. So it's a tough one. What happens next? Does Jake stay in the gig and you start the next season? It's almost like sometimes you've got a player who's just signed a 3-year extension and in the first year he wants to bail.
Yeah.
Does he honor his contract and he's a grumpy mess for the next 3 years, or do you actually just cut ties with him and let him go? And if they do let Jake go, what happens to assistant coaches? Because they're not assured of their jobs, are they?
Yeah.
Like if Jake goes, everyone goes. Or do you keep half of them behind and appoint a new head coach? I don't know.
I think it's a terrible position to be in, because, like you said, if he stays, it's obviously an unhappy group.
Yeah.
If he goes, what happens then? Do you have a proper replacement? I always say it's easy to tell someone, no, that guy's not good enough, but tell me who's replacing him.
Yeah,
okay, and maybe it is Johan Ackerman, and he's got a track record, but coaching in South Africa has got different kind of challenges, and it's been a while since he coached here in South Africa. And who does he then bring in? I think that's where you take Johan van Graan and his success at Bath. Also inherited a group and a coach, players and a coaching group when you got in year one. And then it's like, okay, now you get an opportunity in year one, prove yourself as a player, prove yourself as a coach.
Yeah.
Year two, then you've got the ability to bring your own people in and actually form the squad that you want. And he was, he did amazing. In year three, he got, massive success.
If you take any squad over, you've got to give them the benefit on doubt, unless you go the other way and say, okay, we're firing 30 people and we start afresh. Like the amazing thing is that like how you want to get to the nitty gritty. How does the article get leaked?
How does it end up being in the
How does it end up being in the newspaper? Because surely it gets managed better than that. If you sit around a table, you have the discussion. It doesn't go to the media first.
Yeah.
So it's almost like it's been like pre-planned that it should work this way. But like we all know Jake well. I mean, I want to be a fly on the wall for when he does have that discussion with his assistant coaches.
No, I don't want to be a fly.
And the
You don't want to be there.
and the senior players who said, "Listen, we've played in 6 finals in the last 5 years. Let's quickly get rid of old Jake."
I suppose the pressure comes. You replace him. What's the next step? Does that mean the next guy is going to win the final? Because anything not making a final, winning it, means they've gone backwards.
But that's what I'm saying. So it's such a tough situation to be in.
And people now would say, okay, but let's look at the final against Leinster where they took 30 points. But when they went across there, like all of us were going, like if Leinster doesn't come back to the Bulls with Leinster's squad, they're probably going to take 30 points.
Yeah.
It's not like the final was
Any South African team would have taken 30 there.
No, 100%.
Yeah, but also I think it's
The one that
it's the way
the one is the Glasgow. It's the Glasgow final.
Lost at home,
it's the one that probably would.
Yeah, and that was within a score line out on the 5 meter to basically maul and score.
100%.
But
That's how close that was.
I would say it was down to the injury of Villiers in the semi.
Yeah.
that as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you look at that final, the performance of the team, and now only post that game do you hear all of this coming out, and it's probably because of all of this happening in the background.
Yeah.
That you put up a performance because that was a very lackluster performance.
But do you think it's what he said afterwards maybe that triggered it? But or
Nah,
was it
I
a
don't-
build-up? You think it was a build-up of...
I don't think it's something that just happened.
So if
with one comment.
if they'd won the final, this wouldn't have... Nothing would have happened, you think?
I don't think
That's... Yeah.
I don't know. Like we don't have enough information, but like you almost want to say, like if it's a unified approach to actually get this out into the media, then everyone's involved at the Bulls. If it was a pre-planned move to did the article slip, but like then you go from top to bottom, then you go from president to CEO to everyone, which is a completely different approach. So I don't know. Like the tough thing is like how do you go forward from this? You've now made this statement.
Yeah.
I have to act on it.
Do you act on it, or do you go back and say, "Well, no, like it was a bad idea"?
Someone's going to get the chop. The question is, which side is it?
So like,
Because you can't just keep it as is.
Let's put it this way. So, say for example, we've won 2 Rugby World Cups in a row. The next one we bomb out in a quarter or a semi, and then some assistant coaches and senior players goes, "Listen, you know what, Rassie, you out."
What's the irony in that? Comment
where do we like? How do we feel about it? And like, what's the way forward after that?
You know what's the irony in that comment is the fact that Jake got sacked after winning the World Cup in 2007.
I mean, he got fired, and we had an end of year tour. Which we played Wales and then the Barbarians, and Jake had to fly back to get fired in the Barbarians week.
Yeah, that's not like but coaching really sounds like a nice gig, eh? Should we maybe consider...
But can we just put it out to everyone watching this? Everyone asks you, but like, why aren't you coaching?
Yeah, that's why.
That's why.
That's why, Shimmy.
Look,
for me, Scala, look, if let's say the Bulls, I mean, how many teams are there in the URC? 14, 15, whatever it is.
Yeah.
16.
They couldn't make a top 8 and then they bombed out. And then the players go make a... Then it's a different discussion, guys. They've underperformed, whatever. But these guys have performed.
If
the difference,
if this was the story at the Stormers,
yeah,
I would have said, well, maybe there's some, maybe like that can be true. You're unhappy squad, or we inconsistent, or we've won it 1 year and then we've been on a steady. The first year we've been on a steady decline. We're losing 9 or 10 big name players from this season to next season. But the Bulls seems quite settled, doesn't it? I mean, they're getting Henry Pollard in there, Kobus Reinach's going there. Almost like
Jan Serfontein. Kobus Reinach's coming to the Stormers.
Sorry, Kobus Reinach's coming.
Jan Serfontein,
the lock.
Paul de
lock.
From Montpellier.
Yes,
he's a good player. They've made some great signings.
Van Rensburg, Janssen van Rensburg.
Yeah.
So you go like, okay, but like that's for the South African side.
So obviously, they don't have cash problems.
Money's not a problem. Those are great signings. Those guys will win your tournament.
100%.
Followed by you're here with the Paul Jim Mafia here.
Yeah.
Followed.
Why are you just looking at me?
I saw you when I said followed. I started smiling inside.
I mean, like, I don't know.
Yeah. We move on. Well, look, it's all going to play itself out.
I saw yesterday.
Have you ever been part of a palace crew like that?
No, Shay.
you've never been like that.
no. I'm just, I like all
We
people.
in our days we just lost coaches.
You just disappeared.
The one day they were there, and the next day someone else stood there.
Go on.
Yeah, we had Karel du Plessis and Ger Small the one day, and the next day we had Nick Mallet
Yeah, Nick, Kobus van der Merwe.
and
Sam
Gary Gold.
Ross, Gary Gold.
Yeah,
Rassie.
and then Rassie just
Alistair.
arrived. Yeah,
Lecky. Dobbo.
Alistair.
Who else? Alistair.
yeah. No, they came and left. We didn't
Jerome.
have time. We didn't have time to to make a coup. They were gone before we could.
I like them all. I see Ryan Ackerman's coming to the Stormers, though.
Yeah.
Speaking about
Okay.
Johan Ackerman, yeah.
He's a good player.
I think
Yeah.
that's a good sign.
He's a tough player.
Yeah.
Was he out in Japan now? Yeah, he was
Gloucester.
Gloucester.
still at Gloucester.
Gloucester, yeah.
Did a big stint in
He's
Gloucester.
a good player.
Yeah, you arrived there when I was still playing.
Oh. Okay, guys, it's called, it's not a URC show.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Okay, let's talk Springboks versus Barbarians. Okay, firstly, Barbarians. Let's go through some of the names, guys. We're talking about it earlier on. Umanga Jensen, I think Lester Fanganuku, Ruben van Heerden,
Telea.
Mark Telea.
We're unpacking the Barbarians.
Yeah, 18 internationals or something.
Yeah.
The power team.
It is always like that with the Barbarians. The question is,
Did
can
they
they
have,
gel on the day?
did they have Monty's tequila?
Yeah.
The,
Bobby Dean's coach.
Good coach.
I like
Good
the
guy.
Omahani,
Yeah.
Sam Kane, that little
Frizzell.
Frizzell.
And Frizzell.
and Frizzell.
That's a proper
Lovely.
Wet Cape Town.
Yeah, I actually player that I think is we don't know him. He didn't spend enough time here. What South African playing against South Africans, Dave Ribbons,
Yeah.
He's done well.
decent player.
Yeah, good player.
Like this might be a nice springboard for him to get noticed because he's a super athlete.
Yeah.
On the weekend he'll have to tough it out. There's going to be wet in Cape Town. It's probably not that suits him because he's quite athletic.
I bet you he gets called up to the Lions somewhere. Watch.
You reckon?
If there's an injury at lock, he'll get
Because I
called
mean,
up to the
yeah,
British Irish
because
Lions.
he just fell out of favour for England because he's playing in Toulon, right?
Yeah, and he was under the
He
Eddie
went to
Jones regime.
Toulon with an empty bag.
Oh, really?
Yeah. To put money in there.
I don't know where you were going with that.
Yeah. Who's playing 9 and 10, Shim? According to your
The
intel.
Wira Kobalo and
Kabala's there.
who's the
I'm
10?
not sure. I'm not sure the 10 is.
Because for me, that's the
Kabala's a good player
With the
also.
Baabaas, that's the key. Like the players will run into shape, and you try and have a bit of shape in plays and special plays.
9
And Robbie
and 10.
Deans will put a nice structure, but you need your 9 and 10 to manage those plays because you'll run yourself off your feet if there's no game management.
Yeah.
And I would like our biggest win against the All Blacks. We had Farida Priya at 9. And we had Gita at 10. And we were running, and then at a time when we got our noses in front, they just pinned the corners, and we could just put pressure and pressure. So that's the key with the Baabaas is, when do you play and when do you overplay? It's that balance because you're not
Run you off your feet.
you run yourself off.
And especially this week, I mean, it's going to be wet. It's going to be, look, it's probably not going to be the spectacle we want for a Barbarians game with the weather, but, you do run the risk of, if you have a high error rate, with the team more settled, you know, weak in Cape Town, you're a little bit lethargic,
I mean, the worst case scenario is like the Boks start squeezing them with the kicking game.
Yeah.
And then you find yourself as the Baabaas having to have 20 exit set pieces. Yeah, it's bloody hard. If you're not quite, and you can't exit because you don't really have a kicking shape. So that's where your 9 and 10 and even your 15's got to step up and.
But the Springbok defense, I mean, you can't look unless a game like this ideally would be in Joburg or Pretoria because of the weather.
Yeah.
It's going to be different now, obviously. But the Boks, the 4 debutants, I think it's up front is Slabakanye, Chituka,
Van der Merwe.
Van der Merwe, and Nietling Fouché.
And yet,
Am I right
Yeah,
in
that's
saying that Tlabakanya is the second St. player to ever play a game for the Spring? Or it's not a Springbok test; it's a Springbok touring game. Lance Sherrill being the other.
Oh, really? Is
I
that
think
true?
so.
Look at you.
Did your business partner tell you that?
He's so proud, and he's
Saints, I'm a Saints.
and he's bloody gutted that it's not a test match. He's like, no, it's only.
But he'll get his shot.
Yeah, he'll definitely get. it.
Tlabakanya will get his shot.
Yeah, you'll get
He was
a shot,
on. He was on Camp Dondraad
Did you
for a while there.
The new Virgin Active, dance form.
Did you check, talking about front rowers, did you check the new Coke cans coming out?
What's on there? Oh.
Trevor Nyakane.
Ah.
There we go. We got a couple of front rowers here as well.
But like
Trevor
a-
Nyakane, Malcolm Marks, Franz Malherbe.
What's your take on the spring? Sorry, don't really talk about the new kit. A lot was said about it with the pick and pay, But I mean, it's a new kit. It's
New
green
kit
and
is
gold.
new kit.
It's green and gold, and that's all
It's-
that matters.
And sponsors pay money to get their name on it.
I'm very
And then
glad-
you put the name on there.
I'm very glad that the Checker 6060 jersey's gone. Eh? The white jumper is just like a white jumper.
Peppermint one, yeah.
The peppermint one.
But check, we get it before anyone else. It goes live in 2 weeks' time. 20 of the top Springboks.
I think they've missed a trick, like Nakanya's bottle's got to be like that, it's got to be squashed. And Erges Nijman's got to be a 440.
No, I'm sure they'll have different sizes as well. But it's pretty cool.
Who's the other debutants? We've got Marnus.
Look, Marnus,
Van der
Van der
Merwe.
Merwe.
He's on- he's
And
on
Neetling
the-
for sure.
I'm
Yeah, but
happy-
I
I'm
was-
happy for Neetling.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. Also, Klebakanye, I mean, you sort of listen. I mean, we're talking about Don Staldrot or whatever it is, but the commitment to drive there, spend time there, trim up a bit.
No, amazing.
Yeah, it's actually, it's a nice story, you know what I mean? It shows the hard work there, but also,
I'm glad I don't have to do it.
I might have to go to my farm.
Hey, do you know where Don lives? Actually, talking about Coke, we didn't get the Diet Coke. Yeah. Yes.
So, Lut de Jager, after
2 years.
amazing.
Yeah, I love Lut.
To Jean Klein, also injuries.
Also hasn't
But
played.
it's nice for those two locks.
Plain
also.
John.
Lut, a friend of the show.
Yes. And I'm just glad that we gave him the platform.
Yeah.
On the verdict, and you can watch the verdict on Tuesday, live as well, on this same platform.
Yeah.
Definitely a bit of method behind the madness with this team, though. A lot of Japanese-based players.
Yep.
A lot of players who's been injured for a long time. You think John Klein, you think Louis de Jager. A lot of Sharks who I think were underdone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like Fassi or Ox, you haven't seen the best out of them. Vince Tachuka's obviously got a role to play, I think, going forward. How about Jean-Luc Dupré coming back in the mix? We haven't seen
The
him
big
in
boy,
the Boks
yeah.
jersey
for
for
a
a while.
He needs a statement game.
Yeah, he does.
Sasha at 10, which I think potentially, is a jersey he can make a run at.
It's a proper backline.
Yeah.
You know,
Damien Dalander. But
Morna-
again, that's your Japanese players who haven't been playing. Kwakas
JC.
on the bench.
It's a bloody good backline.
no, well,
Chivas.
11,
Ankle.
12, 13, 14, all Japanese players.
Yeah.
So it's a really good backline. Monet, Sasha, Kurtley, Cheslin, Damien, Jesse, Fassi. It's a proper backline. And also I think they've got the ability to change it up. Kicking game they'll be able to settle, but also attacking wise
For once, we don't have to talk about the bench. We've gone 4-3.
how boring.
When last?
How boring
Yes,
is that?
Yeah, but don't, if you look at the season though, we're gonna see the 7-1 split somewhere.
Yeah.
But you sort of got Barbarians, Italy, Australia ramps up,
Georgia.
bang.
Georgia,
Georgia,
you know what I mean?
there we go.
Georgia, Nelspruit.
Georgia,
We
we
can't.
taking
Can
8
someone
points.
please organize us a flight out of Nelspruit? Jeez,
Please, guys.
guys. Georgia, Australia,
Charter.
and then All Blacks. Boom, boom, boom. Then it just goes up like that.
No, so I think the structure for this season, the approach for this season from Rassie and his squad is totally different to last year. Because last year you had Ireland coming in, which was massive game.
huge, yeah.
First up. So you need to be at your best then. You can't be performing at your best throughout the year.
Oh.
So now and no disrespect to Italy and Georgia and the Barbarians, but you've got time to introduce new players, into that structure with some senior players who hasn't played that much, and then you go into rugby championship, which is critically important, but also we go Australia first, then to New Zealand, and then Argentina, and then a massive end of year tour.
How
So you're peaking more towards the end of the year than the
We used 55 players last year. How many? 50.
was
Yeah,
it
it was
45,
50.
wasn't it?
No, it
45?
was over.
It's over 50.
It was over 50.
Was it over 50?
So this year, I think we can maybe see that number again. I definitely think there's some players that you would think was like shoe-ins to go or play this year. Like you think just a tight end, Frans Malherbe is injured.
I think the whole
That's,
front
that's,
row.
yeah, that's where
Whole
the
front
depth.
row.
Yeah.
France out, Trevor out, Steven Kitsoff out. Hooker becomes a bit of a
Third hooker becomes a
yeah.
third hooker. No one's really claimed that third hooker spot.
So
Jan Hendrik Wessels has done well,
He's down to be lucid on the weekend.
but geez, we've got locks though
Yeah.
for days.
And
no
we got
locks
locks
for
for-
days.
No, we've got locks
But
for.
front row.
We've got bloody
there's-
good locks. Jeez. Peter Steff, I'm not sure how long he's.
I saw him on Sunday actually. So
Oh really?
Yeah.
Thanks. Invite for the bride. Where was it?
Yeah, no, it ain't Paul.
Is it?
Yeah. The
What were you guys doing?
So I'm not telling you. Yeah.
You were watching tennis.
He's back in the squad
What did
this
he do? A
week.
shoulder.
Yeah, shoulder.
Because remember, it was him and BJ Dixon last year that were the two blindside
Blindside
flankers, and then
flank.
Franco covered.
Yeah.
Obviously. So with Lurt back, it does open. I mean, if you go 7-1 now, you got
Yeah,
a
so-
proper pack waiting.
So we've
to come
obviously
on.
lost. How long's Cameron Hanekom out for? He's out for.
Yeah, I don't know,
quite-
eh.
He had an operation though. I think the hamstring. That was
Yeah,
a
yeah.
hamstring.
Ruptured. Was it a ruptured hamstring?
I did the game, and that's what it looked like.
That's
You know,
6
it's like
months then.
in. See, I cleaned him. It looked like he popped it off.
That's
So,
the year done for him then.
obviously, the other big name we've lost, but featured heavily last year is Ulrich Low. He's done his knee. He's out till next year. So we need to fill in some spots. Jasper Wiese is coming back from a neck fusion.
Jasper's
But he's back soon though, isn't he?
yeah. Quagga's there.
Yeah, we know by
Machine.
now he's not starting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's on the bench.
Beast. Machine.
And could Sia possibly then fill in at 8 as well because he's played there?
Yeah, I think so.
Depends on the makeup of the loose trio, who he plays
Yeah, and
with.
then you've still got guys you tend to forget about, you know, like obviously no Dion Free, he's out for a while still, but then
Yeah.
no one talks about Eskom van Staden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Where
like,
is he?
he's
in
at
the
the Bulls.
Yeah.
He's been playing, he's been super off the bench, but he hasn't really played in
But
the
he's in
starting
the
role.
squad. He's in the box squad.
Yeah.
He always, you pick him, he does
He's
a
had
good job.
he's had one of his quiet. I think injury coming back. He hasn't really got that rhythm
Yeah.
into season yet.
And Trokki's not in the squad anymore.
Yeah.
Augustus.
So the box to do well here, to
Yeah.
dominate. Yeah.
I think it's going to be a bit of a boring game.
I think,
Because of the weather.
Yeah, unfortunately.
yeah,
I'm not sure. I think we'll break them down and then.
Let's hope so.
Yeah.
Let's hope it will be dependent on the weather.
I mean,
it
if you're the
dries up a
Barbarians
little
and
bit.
the Boks are on it, it's the worst possible side to play against because, you know, like the set, everything's a fight. The breakdown, the
Yeah.
set piece, the line out. And if we get our own in those departments, like you look at our back line, I mean, they can mix it with the best in the world. So, yeah, I think it's a hard day for the Barbarians coming up this weekend, especially because of the weather that's predicted.
Suppose that the nice thing now is we can watch All Blacks, see what's coming for us. Australia with the Lions, see how because they'll be battle hardened. All Blacks will be battle hardened.
There's great rugby on the go.
Yeah, there's great rugby. So it's going to be
Well,
a
that's
good
gonna be-
couple of
that's-
weeks.
It's a hard tour.
Yeah.
And, you know, whenever you play against a team that has done it, like regardless what happens against the Lions, the intensity around that games are immense.
Yeah.
If the Wallabies come through it unscathed, they're going to be hard to break down. I mean, imagine them getting a serious win over the Lions, and then
Oh.
then we've got them here,
Yeah.
and then you've got to go obviously try and get the All Blacks in Eden Park. There's no chance we can't win there, but maybe we sneak a win in
I
Wellington.
reckon we win there.
No chance. You can't go against the venue, Shimmy.
I'm going to get this out the way, boys. The Castle Lager readout. Scala, you in the beer tent or something on the weekend, right?
I'm at they call it the beer shack, I think.
Yeah. So the Castle Lager Boktown Fan Park, okay? They expect
At the Wanderers.
At where? At
That's
Wanderers.
At the Wanderers, yeah.
Can I finish
Saturday.
reading first?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, if you don't have tickets for the match this weekend, then fear not, because you can get all the action at the Castle Lager Boktown Fan Park. Jean de Villiers says on Wanderers, it doesn't say where it is here. Expect big screens, DJs, live music, great food vendors, and even a Springbok legend or two as well.
Bucktown used to be a big thing back in the day.
Okay, boys, yeah, we're running out of time here. Okay, the
Have we
best,
selected? Have we selected?
yeah, best current Barbarian 15.
So we selected Barbarian team
Okay,
of
wait,
current
this is
players.
on the current players on the field, not
Yeah.
in the pub.
Yeah,
Attacking rugby Barbarians.
Yeah.
You 1 to 5, go.
Lucette Prop, Jan-Erik Wessels,
Nice.
Theo Dan Hooker,
Nice.
Tighthead, I'll go with Slabakanya actually.
Okay.
Yeah,
Skill and play, he can throw it around. There's only one person at lock, okay, Sneeman.
Go gadget, yeah.
The other lock, Tupuvai from New Zealand.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
Jeez, boys, I've got to go. Yeah, open side flanker, Satiti from All Blacks.
Yeah.
Blind side flanker. I think we need a bit of a hard edge. So I'll go Peter Steff, carry through the guts, and he's been impressive there in the outside channels.
Yeah,
Number 8,
I'll go see her.
you go see.
Attacking skill, wide channels. If Peter Steph's punching it up, you need someone on the wide channels.
Brenol can run.
That's the one I wanted.
Brenol can run.
Oh, there has to be a Saracen. Yep.
Okay, let's DuPont
Okay.
Dupont.
and Finn Russell.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Cheslin Colby,
Yeah.
and Beer Beret, the wings.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to go. Ooh, who am I going to go midfield?
Tuipelotu.
Yes. Yeah, I'm going to go Tuipelotu and Hugh Jones. In the midfield.
Yeah. Okay, I like that.
Nice combo. And then I'm going to go fullback, Damien Willemse.
Yeah, I like that.
Attack.
Attack.
I'm trying to think which other centres. Midfield's quite a
No, we select.
Geordie Barrett. I'm trying to think.
Daly?
David Allender. Joseph Saili wouldn't make it.
Maybe. But I
Yeah,
didn't
so
go.
team.
I didn't go. Okay, go. That properly.
Okay.
Why do you
who's
judge
the coach? Wally's got to select the coach.
all out attack?
Bordeaux's coach.
Switch.
So he's the brain. Tony Brown.
Yeah, you just want to select Tony for every.
Yeah.
team.
TB.
As coach.
He's got a lot of teams to represent so far.
Okay, guys, look, we're going to start wrapping it up. Okay, Boks Unpacked name. We'd like to ask you guys to think about the Boks Unpacked name. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you have any other ideas, it's a great name, I think, Boks Unpacked. Eh?
I don't know. Let's
Unpacked
see.
a lot. Eh?
Let's see.
We'll listen to you guys. Let us know what you think of the name. Give us comments, give us suggestions, give us names, and we'll decide for the next show what we're going to call the show. Jean Schalk and Jacques Fourie. I don't know why I laugh when I hear Jacques Fourie. We'll be doing a live show at Pretoria Country Club on Wednesday.
Yes, we are. Golf day. I think it's a Bulls golf day, actually. So it should be interesting.
We should be. We fit in just fine.
Yeah, perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah?
Bulls golf day, and then the three of us will do a live show there afterwards. Bit of Q&A, bit of banter. Very
That's
lekker.
local club. It's bloody nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's down the road from
It's
it.
It's a
Country
beautiful,
Club.
it's a
So, yeah,
beautiful golf
I
club.
love
Amazing.
that place. I find it hard.
It is hard.
Always
Lots
find
of
it tricky,
trees,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I think there might actually
How
be...
do they get tickets? Sorry, how do people
Yeah,
get tickets?
I don't know. Just contact Pretoria Country Club, see if they still have some 4-balls available for the golf day. And come join us.
Please, if you do get a 4-ball, don't be partnered up with John de Villiers. So he's my partner. You can
After
take him
your
if you
shootout
want.
performance. Sadly, that's all we've got for this show. Let us know about the name again. Boks Unpacked. Do you like the name? Do you have any other suggestions? And on Tuesday, we're going to have the verdict, a technical show. Jean de Villiers, Schalk Burger, and Brig Frans Malherbe.
The big man's coming.
Where are
in.
you, Shimmy?
Yes.
Quickly, just give
Because
us
where will you be?
I'm on a catamaran in Croatia going down the islands.
somewhere between Split and Avar.
Yeah.
Tough life.
Shame.
The only reason you're not going on holiday because you're doing your boy at your
I
house.
know. I can't get away.
I just have
Weren't you in
to,
Mauritius last year?
yeah. But actually, my daughter's playing in a hockey tournament,
Yeah.
interprovincial hockey.
Nice one. Paul Jim going well, by the way, before we wrap it up.
Jeez, how
Jeez,
dominant.
they're dominating, eh?
Good Eddie pass Landper score, which I didn't see coming.
It's a proper rugby team, eh?
Yeah.
The really good structures, fantastic team, and some unbelievable individuals as well. Yes.
Please subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yes, Shimmy.
To our YouTube channel and social channels. We'll be bringing everything Springbok rugby for the next couple of weeks. It's time to seal the box. We'll see you next Tuesday.